everyone, and welcome to episode 57 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host, Risky the Kid, and joining me this week, as always, are my co-hosts, Chocolate.
Hiya.
Moose.
What's up, boys?
And I set that up for a rotating fourth chair person, but we don't have one this week. It's just
Nicely
us.
done.
Yeah. I'm good at my job. What can I say?
You are Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. Who put a question mark in the teleprompter? It's a mailbag episode, so it's just three of us.
Sorry,
So,
guys. Just have
we
to listen to
apologize.
us. Next week we'll have somebody interesting to listen to.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Speaking of apologies, though, Moose, I heard you had an apology that you wanted to get off your chest quick about some Spider-Man comments you may have made last episode.
I thought I made this public in Discord. I didn't know that we had to drag it on the airwaves.
Not everyone
too.
is in Discord, so...
But come to find out, the naked Spider-Man does not have a bag on his head. That's a Fantastic Four Spider-Man. His name is the Bombastic Bagman. And the naked Spider-Man has just the regular Spider-Man mask, but he's got some sexy underwears. But you have to 100% basically platinum the game in order to unlock that guy. So
Is that what you're shooting for?
Oh, yeah. Spider-Man in his underwear? Come on.
Oh, yeah. A couple more things before we get into what we've been playing. From here on out, we're going to try our best to have a set schedule for when we will be going live on Mixer, at least. And that time is going to be Monday at 5:30 Eastern, 10:30 British people time, and 3:30 Moose time. So if you're from any of those places, we're going to try to get it so we kind of have a set schedule so people don't have to guess when we're going to be live on Mixer and whatnot. And it'll just help us in general, knowing when we need to show up and getting everything ready. So there's that. Hopefully a good addition. We shall see.
Let us know.
Yeah, if you really hate Mondays at 5:30 Eastern, just let us know. We'll in one ear, out the other, I'm sure. But
Well, basically, Kate, just let us know when it works for you, because you're the one listening.
that's true. We also have a new merch shop for all of your Cross Atlantic Gaming gear needs, and that's over at Spreadshirt. There's going to be links for that in the show notes. We have a U.S. shop and a UK shop. We finally have snapback hats, which I'm super pumped about because since we started this podcast, I was like, man, we really need some snapback hats because I would love one of those. They're going to be there. The only thing I've ever bought is a hoodie, and now I can buy some more, and so can you. Links to our Spreadshirt page will be in the description.
So, Risky, I know I got to ask you, being a few years younger than the old bear and myself, are you a bend the bill or a flat brim guy?
I bend the bill because
Attaboy.
That's the way.
it kind of looks weird when you keep it flat. You can like
It looks
see up into the
stupid.
corners of your like head, like you can
Yeah.
see inside of the hat kind of because it doesn't sit like naturally. But
No,
yeah,
it looks dumb, too,
I'm all on board with the bend.
in my opinion.
Just one Moose's opinion.
That's right.
That's all.
Shout out to Chaotic for the designs. Anything you want, let us know, and I shall get him to design
Well-
something beautiful.
Shout out
There
to
you go,
Ladonian
at your
for the
disposal.
designs,
Your
Shout out
own
to
graphic
Chaotic
design
for-
artist.
putting the designs on the shirts.
Okay, yes, sorry. Play of words.
Oh, good. All right, guys, another week in gaming. What have we all been playing this week? Moose, I'm going to start with you and some CTR. If you're not familiar with CTR, that is Crash Team Racing, the PlayStation 1 classic? Or 2?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
1?
think it's 1. Yep. But how could you not be familiar? I think it was pretty much, I looked at my friends list, and everybody but you guys were playing it. So it's a great game. It's definitely the big boy version of Mario Kart, in my opinion. Your boost, you don't just hold your drift around the corner. You actually have to watch it and tap it every time it like basically revs up like a turbo. And if you do it 3 times in a row, then you get a super boost. And there's challenges, kind of like in Tony Hawk Skate. You have to collect the little letters C, T, and R, as well as there's time trial challenges where you have to hit crates and there's numbers on the crates and they take time away from your time, and you've got to basically beat the time in order to earn some sort of token or something. But basically, to 100% that game is going to be some work. But I did roll credits over the weekend, so.
Yeah, when you told me that, I was like, what do you mean you rolled credits on a kart racer? But apparently there's some type of adventure mode, so that's cool.
Yep, there is. And basically, to roll credits, you just have to win all the races.
Makes sense. I was going to ask who your primary racer is. Is it Tiny?
No, it's actually, I don't know his name, but it's like this giant guy that kind of looks like Maui from Moana.
Huh.
He's like a giant Samoan guy with tattoos. And
I'd have to dig deep for that one, I think.
Yeah, I'll get the name for you. But yeah, I love it. He just chuckles when he knocks people. You know, when you drop a box or a potion behind you and hit somebody, just his laugh makes me laugh every time. So
some TNT.
Yeah, a TNT box, or one of the potion bottles, or let's see, those bowling balls. There's one boss race that all he does is drop those exploding bowling balls behind him the whole time. So if you get behind, you're pretty much screwed.
Okay, so just by you explaining that there's bosses at the end of each level, that's kind of cool. Makes more sense as far as the adventure mode goes. It's not just races.
Right.
Sometimes they have special powers and stuff.
I want to say there's 4 or 5 biomes, and each biome there's 4 tracks, and once you beat the 4 tracks, then you open the boss race, and then once you beat the boss, he gives you a key which will unlock the next biome.
Okay, sweet. That's pretty awesome then.
Yeah.
Good deal. In my head, CTR was always superior to Mario Kart. I'd always thought that, so I didn't understand why Mario Kart got so much love. It took so long for this game to have a successor, and it ended up just being a remaster, not CTR 7 or 9,
right.
Whatever version we're on now of Mario Kart. But
yeah, it looks great. It's a lot of fun, and I did get the family involved this weekend. So I had the 3-year-old and the 6-year-old, both with sticks in their hand. They are not the greatest at the game, but they've got to get better, right?
Hey, that's a good place to start, I think. Do they have any type of
easy
assist mode for the kids? Yeah.
Not that I could find, but I didn't look for one either. So I just kind of threw a controller in their hand and said, "A is go, figure it out."
They've got a good multiplayer co-op match, haven't they? Where you race and you've got pillars and you've got a red side and a gold side. And
I haven't played that mode yet.
I'll have a look at it. So you have to go through one
like
side
a battle
to get
mode type deal.
Type of, yeah, and as you go through, you get your multiplier, but you can't just hit all the reds and all the golds. You have to kind of mix it up to accumulate a bigger multiplier. It looks quite fun.
Okay, I have to check it out. Yeah, some people should pick it up. I think it's only $40, so I didn't see what was worth buying the $60 version. It seemed like everything that you got for the $60 version was unlockable through gameplay. So I went ahead and bought the cheap version, and I can't complain. Having a lot of fun, and it's couch co-op too. So if you've got 4 controllers at home, you can do it, old school Mario Kart style with the 4 carts on the screen.
Good deal. I like the $40 price point. Seems right. $60, you're kind of like, yeah.
Well, that's
remaster of a kart racer. I don't know.
Nintendo does that all the time, though. They have a $35 game that comes out on the Wii U, and then they drop it for $60 when they re-release it on the Switch.
And that's what we call the Nintendo tax. It's great.
I didn't see how much it was on Nintendo. It might be $40 also, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was more.
I think it's on a deal actually at the moment, or it was before it released. I'm sure they had some money off. It was 10% off, or 20%
pre-purchase
off.
price or something. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on, you guys are going to be pumped about this one. I know how much you love mobile games, but Harry Potter Wizards Unite came out Thursday, a day early. How pumped were you guys when you turned on your phones in the morning? You're like, "Oh my God, Harry Potter Wizards Unite is out today!"
I didn't get the notification. I don't know what happened.
You gotta turn those on, man. Yeah, I don't know. I've just been playing some of that. If you're not familiar, it's another Niantic game. Like Pokemon Go, there was a Walking Dead one, there was a Jurassic Park one for a while. You go around casting spells with your finger on your phone. I've done 22 kilometers since Thursday, which is probably way more than I would normally walk, so I can't complain about the game because it's getting me out there.
Everybody in your neighborhood's like, oh, Weirdo's got a new walking game out.
Yeah, he only leaves his house when a new Niantic game launches. Weirdo.
So I heard you teamed up with some friends in a park and had an epic raid.
Okay, dude. I would have forgot to bring that up. But yeah, Jesse, Prince of Cats from the community, him and I went downtown in Syracuse, and well, the weirdest thing happened. We were kind of walking down there, and then you hear all this weird like polka music, and you see a bunch of people dancing. Apparently, Polish Fest was going on.
Nice.
And the like main raid point that we were going to is like at a statue just in the middle of all this stuff. So
Oh no.
just to set the scene, that's what was going on in the background of two 30-plus-year-old dudes swiping magical spells on their phone next to a statue.
Were you guys shouting the
yeah.
spells as you swiped up?
No, and I think I might have brought this up before, but I was like, you should get bonus points if your mic picks you up saying the incantation
right.
or whatever. Like,
If you get
that
the
would be
pronunciation
hilarious.
right.
Yeah,
Jesse
exactly.
said it was epic battle music to go
Yeah,
along
the
with you
polka
guys' raid.
music. Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of cool. The raiding system, like Pokemon Go has raids or whatever, but the raids here, you actually go into different classes. So my class is like a tank healer, so I can soak up some damage, which didn't seem like I could soak up a lot of damage. But one thing I can do is if like Jesse was in battle, I can send like heals to him while he's in battle. You can have 5 people in a raid. There's 3 different classes. It's kind of cool. I'm sure it'll pass like all of these things do.
Right.
I still think Pokemon Go is probably the better one, just because that world makes so much more sense, like going out and capturing these things. Here you're kind of like going out and catching the golden snitch or catching a troll or catching a book or something. So like that's kind of weird.
Have you turned your house into a hub yet for people to come to?
No, I don't even think you can do that. You can put like things on the Pokestops. They're called inns here, but it's supposed to like open up more higher leveled things that you can take down. I don't know.
That screams alarm bells to me, telling people to come to your house.
Yeah, doesn't it? Well, it would you, right?
Okay.
Move along, right?
But, yeah, we can
I'll
move
give you that
along. My friend code is in Discord somewhere, though. Just reach out. If you want to be Harry Potter friends, still waiting on my request from Ryan. So
I could see this being a thing for me if it's still a thing when my kids have phones. But
like
as far
any
as,
of these type of games.
yeah, as far as me doing it by myself, that probably won't happen.
Oh, you don't want to look like a weirdo like the rest of us?
Well, at least
Well,
you
like
had
me and
Jesse
Jesse.
going with you. You know, it would just be me and like 12-year-olds.
But so just back to that last raid battle quick. Probably talking about this way too long. But we had like 8 seconds left to go, and then he did a spell that was like a critical hit, so it killed this thing with like seconds left, and we were just like, yeah, and like yelled out loud. And there's like this dude with his little daughter walking like 3 feet in front of us. We just like shouted at them while we were staring at our phones. It was all, but we beat
That's
it. So
so awesome.
yeah, it's something, that's for sure. Worth it. All right, moving on. Chocolate, what let's just get the updates here quick. Division 2, did you bump up another world tier?
World Tier 2, baby.
I don't think
All
he
right,
was
cool.
World
So
Tier
Division 2,
1
that's fun.
before last show because we did it Monday afternoon,
weren't?
right?
No, I think
You
I was
needed a little assistance.
27. A little. I was the backpack and
No, I was the
Oh, boy.
backpack.
top prompts to everybody who, well, I say everyone, to Kate and Chester to dragging me up, and then Moose jumped in on, I think, our last, stronghold mission.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that was pretty tough with just the 3 of us, and then Moose came in and just gave us that little bit of edge that we needed to
My
finally
character's gear score is like 150 higher than everybody else's, so it was...
Yeah, I think Moose was rocking 500, and we were at the start. I think we were 280, maybe 290.
Right, and I was dropping you guys 350 gear, I believe.
Oh, it was superb. Yeah, I managed to do probably the worst amount of damage, worst amount of accuracy. I was garbage, and then somehow got a better gear score than Kate and Chester. It was superb.
That's because you stood right next to me as I dropped everything.
Oh, well, yeah, that X button was getting pounded. I was like, pick it up, quick, quick, quick.
That's awful. So shout out to everyone's backs who have been broken these last couple months by Chocolate and his inability to play games.
But hey,
Thank
he
you, I
finally
tip my
can
hat.
unlock his specializations.
What are you
I
going with,
did.
Chocolate?
Oh, I went with the grenade launcher. Which,
Nice. That's a fun one.
oh, that's brilliant. Thing is, I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but there's some sort of glitch at the moment where I've been getting, I can't throw my grenades and I couldn't use my specialization. It's a couple of the missions we were doing, it was just broke. Just would not let you do it at all.
I wonder if it was a modifier for the mission, because sometimes they have modifiers like that. Like, I remember we were playing one with Dan one night, and the modifier was just making it so impossible. I can't remember
And
what
I
it was.
wonder if it was just user error.
Definitely wasn't user error, and it wasn't a requirement of the mission. Because I know
No.
Kate was using her stuff. It happened to me the week before as well. I couldn't throw my grenades.
All I can say is sell your Xbox, dude.
Womp womp.
But what will I play? Oh.
You'll
I'm
figure
not
it out.
Switch.
I'm not playing Harry Potter. Anyway, go on.
What?
Move on.
All right. Moose, playing some Crypt of the Necro Dancer. Give me your initial impressions on that one.
I like it. My favorite part by far is the guy in the store in game that
Hilarious.
sings. Oh yeah, I can just go in there and sit there and listen to him sing and just dance around in the square.
Because
Listen.
it's like an opera voice, isn't it?
Yeah, he sings like
Yeah.
opera over the little EDM type beat that is going on. But it's a lot of fun. I'm still terrible at it. I've only unlocked the first dungeon and for some reason a fifth dungeon. I don't know what's up with that. But the dragon, every time I see a dragon I get killed. So I need to figure out what its pattern is and
The pattern is to run away from those things.
And drop
the,
a
the
bomb,
giant
right?
red dragons.
the green ones too. The green ones I can kill with my sword, but I haven't figured out exactly how to dodge them yet.
Okay, yeah. I remember I thought they were red dragons at least, or maybe there are red dragons as well. But every time I saw those, I would just like knew it was game over. Like, well,
Right.
I don't know what I can be doing here any different besides trying to run from you and then inevitably dying.
And then
But-
the golden bats too. Those ones I can't figure out either.
Okay. But yeah, so if you're not familiar with this is it's I mean, I kind of talked about it last week with Cadence of Hyrule. It's
Right.
like a rhythm based dungeon crawling roguelite. It's a whole bunch of stuff, but it's a lot of fun.
And right after, not even 24 hours after I said that we need to hook up some DDR pads, somebody made a YouTube video and did it. So there goes that
Yeah,
idea.
it was really funny that you'd mentioned that, and then I was just browsing Twitter, and I was like, oh man, that guy's a dance pad, and he's playing Crypt of the Necro Dancer, or he was playing Cadence of Hyrule, one or the
He
other.
was playing Zelda, I think.
Either way, I was like, what? That's so awesome.
So I'll probably wait for Zelda to go on sale and pick it up. But it was $4, and I think it was a $4 invested.
Yeah, that's a
Because
steal.
it looks like there's like 12 dungeons or something like that.
I've probably only gone through a handful of them at this point, so I still even have a bunch of that game to play. But
Right, because
I just love the core mechanics.
Yeah, it loads you, like, once the song is over, it loads you into a completely new dungeon, and you basically start over. Like, if you haven't died, and you haven't found everything, or you haven't, then it says,
Right.
the song has completed, and it just starts you over, and you have to go reveal everything once again. And it's a lot of fun. The replayability on that game is, so high.
Yeah, and I had brought up Cadence of Hyrule last week, and I did want to correct something I said. I said that when you keep the beat going and don't mess up, it makes you like stronger. So apparently all it really does is it makes it so there's a higher chance that your enemies drop more loot, and it gives you more stamina. So you're not actually doing more damage at all if you're keeping up your combo. It's more just you're more likely to get more rupees or whatever. I think they're rupees, whatever the currency is in Zelda games. So
I think it's the same way with Crypt of the Necrodancer. Once because it's all checkerboarded and you have to move, in sequence with the beat. So once you've done it, I want to say like 8 or 10 times, then the whole floor turns into like a dance floor. And I think it's the same. Once that mode activates, they drop a lot more coins than they did when you killed them before that happens.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, those games are a lot of fun. If either of them ever go on sale, I feel like at full price, Crypt of the Necrodancer is like $15.
Right.
So if that has any type of sale, that one's well worth it. And then this one's just Cadence is just a more highly polished one with some Zelda music and some Zelda enemies, that kind of thing.
It seems like Zelda's doing that a lot because I played what is it, Hyrule Warriors last year. It seems like they seem to sell their IP or their license to other games a lot.
Yeah, it's like one IP they're not scared to dish out to people.
Because people eat it up. Everybody loves Zelda. So,
and that's the thing. Like, if Crypt of the Necrodancer dropped at $19.99 new, it's like the Hyrule one was going to be $24.99 just because it's got Link and
just
Zelda
for the
in
Zelda license.
So it's kind of funny how that
tax.
works. Yeah, cool.
Gotta love it.
Love it. So yeah, I've been playing two things on the Switch, really. I'll talk about Iconoclast first, which came out a while ago. Moose, you had started playing this way back when, and you said you kind of forgot what happened.
Yeah, I started playing it a couple times, and I'll probably have to restart the game again when I go back to it.
Well, that's one thing. So with this game, most of these platformers I don't think have decent stories at all. The story going on here, if I had stopped playing 4 hours in or something, I would feel like I need to go back in.
Right.
But first, what type of game this is? It's just it's an action platformer, I would say, with some Metroidvania stuff. Like when you get a new tool or a new ability, there's going to be some spots that you can go back to unlock or move on to a new area. It's not as much or like as heavy as Hollow Knight is with that. It seems a little more linear. Like you don't get lost like you would in Hollow Knight, where you just didn't know where you should be going. And the map's there all the time, so if there's a space that you can clearly tell you haven't been to, you can get back there pretty easily. Mm-hmm. One thing I didn't know, and I found this out when I was looking through some stuff in the game today, was that this game was made by one dude. Did you know that?
I think I do remember hearing something about that when I first got it.
Okay, yeah, his name's Joachim Sandberg, and it took him something like 7 years, I think, to make the game.
Yeah.
And
Jesus.
for whatever reason, I just feel like I have a way more respect for the game when I figure out like things like Stardew, where it's like one dude made all this. That's incredible.
And that's 7 years of, he probably was doing other things, but that's just a long time coming, and then to finally have it release and have it be good. It's gotta feel great.
And it's done, from what I had seen, it's like it's rated highly, like in the 8-9s area.
Yeah.
Which is great. And it's cool because all the money literally just goes to him. So like well worth the 7-year journey. But yeah, so as far as the story goes, you're like a mechanic, like this chick is a mechanic, and she has this wrench, and you're running from this religious group called, One Concern, I think is their name. Real dumb name. But mechanics have been outlawed from the lands. Only their like sanctioned mechanics are the ones that get to deal with this power source called Ivory. Like there's Ivory and everything, and Ivory powers everything. And eventually you get recruited from this group that I also don't remember their names, but they're called pirates all the time.
Right.
You get recruited by them because they're also harvesting this ivory, and you're more of just like a person for the people kind of thing, where the One Concern doesn't want you to be messing around with anything. It's an interesting story. It seems heavily like there's a lot of religious undertones to it, which is, I mean, it could be good or it could be bad as long as the story is well written. I don't think it really matters that it has an undertone. But yeah, the game's real good. You kind of some things that set it apart would be like the wrench mechanics. Like you can either bash people with the wrench and use it as a weapon, but then the puzzles in the game also need the wrench to activate like different platforms. You eventually use it like a grappling hook or a zip line.
Right.
You can do a bunch of different things, and then you have a stun gun / like bomb gun for attacking. There's some boss battles. The boss battles, I've been just pounding my head against the table, and it's not because they're difficult as far as like the platforming goes or the attacking. They're difficult like mentally, I want to say, like trying to figure out what I have to do to put this monster into like a downed state where I can actually attack him.
Yeah.
So having to figure that out has been
They give you all the tools, but you got to figure it out.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
look on YouTube.
I've been stuck on this one for I put it down the last time because I couldn't beat it, and that was probably after trying it for a good half hour. So
I think
it'll
that's
either
been
be
my
I
issue.
look it up
Yeah, I think that's been
or
my
pick it
issue.
back up later.
Both times I played it is I just either get to a boss fight or a spot where I can't figure out where I'm supposed to go next. So
Yeah, it's definitely good though, and this was part of their sales from last week, and I had been thinking about getting it forever. I love it when these old games that not old, came out in 2018, but these games that I had thought about purchasing at one point, and then they're just like, well, it's on sale, I have to buy it. So haven't regretted it yet. It's pretty good.
I might have a look at this.
Yeah, definitely worth it. The sale should be going on, I would assume, through Thursday. So, speaking of sales, Daggerhood is on sale right now, which is normally $4.99. I can't see what price it is because I already bought it. But if you're looking for a super cheap, at this point, I'm assuming, Switch game, Daggerhood for under $4.99. That's a good one. If anyone's looking for a cheap Switch game.
It's great for a pick up and go, isn't it? You can get a 10-15 minutes playtime in and then put it down. It's
100%.
It's a nice little game.
It's great for that. All right. Speaking of more Switch games, you making any progress in Katana Zero, Chocolate?
Yes, I made a shed load of progress on it.
A what?
I think he said
Shed
shed load.
Oh, okay.
Shed
Like
load.
a
Like a
shed
sh-
full?
Like a she
Gotcha.
shed?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So not
She
very
shed,
idiot.
Cheryl.
Anyway, so I'm gonna try not to spoil the storyline, but I've got to the prison now, where you change your character.
Oh,
and you have
yeah.
you have a new ability, which that first level with that new character drove me up the wall. I was stuck on it for about a day and a half.
Is that like the super long dash that like murders everything in its
Yeah.
way, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
it was
awesome.
that first bit where you dash through those 5 beams, and then you have to go up and dash or jump into those 3 other men who are just guarding that second level.
Right.
And I just couldn't time anything right. I was kept getting shot and driving me up the wall. So on my break at work, I managed to have a quick go, and I've managed to now kind of get the pattern, how I should be jumping up, killing those 3, and then moving on to the next stage. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
good.
such a good game. And
Keep going, dude. You gotta get through that one.
I think I've only got 3 days left, or 3 missions. 3 full missions left.
Sweet.
When is
Yeah.
it? It starts at what, 7 or 8 days?
7 or 8. I think it's 8 days it starts at, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it ticks down. So yeah,
I
I'm
think
sure
I'm at
I've
day
only
5.
day 5 now. Is that the?
Or
I'm
5
trying to
days
think.
left, I'm sorry. So I've done...
Are you on the? Have you tried the vehicles yet?
No.
Oh,
Where you have to ride the cart.
brilliant! The
Or are you
car.
talking about
and
the
then there's
motorcycle?
The next
thing?
one, the motorcycle. That
Yeah.
mission is brilliant. So good.
That game has so many good, like, memorable moments. Not just doing like the combat, but like with the cart riding and the motorcycle and all that stuff. What a good platformer.
So good. I thought once you did the cart, I was like, oh, okay, this is. I felt at that moment, I was like, oh, it's a little bit samey. And then you got onto the vehicle part, and now I'm into the prison, and it's like, okay, it's opened up so much more. And that very small, tedious bit just before the cart that I was a bit down on, actually, do you know what? It's well worth it. The game's amazing. So worth picking up.
For sure. All right. Moose, you picked up
Yes,
Doom
sir.
this week.
Oh, I've had it.
How you beat the whole thing, didn't you?
Yeah. It's only
You
like
garbage monstered it.
I did. It's only like a 10 to 12 hour game, I think. But I looked at my game time played and it was 22 hours. So I think I sit down the controller a lot and have to go do things, and that counts as gameplay time. That's what I just tell myself.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
But yeah, that game, the boss fights, dude, holy cow. They're so good and they're so challenging. I played the game on the easiest difficulty, and
And it was
I-
still challenging.
Yeah, I about gave up until I figured out that it was the last boss fight of the game.
So you had to beat it.
Yeah. And it's such a good game. You just, the music is just like, it's like high energy death metal. And the more enemies that come at you, the more intense the music gets. And I don't know, it's just a great game. And the weapons you have, they just make a big bloody mess. And
that's like the only screenshots or like video clips I've ever seen from that game. It's just like the most gory, over the top, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
because you can wear your enemies down to where they're like flashing, and then you run up to them and press, I believe it's L3, and it does like a special finish on them, and like it'll rip their jaw out and stab them in the eye with it, or
No.
or just take your hands and just crush their skull. It does all sorts of crazy things, like finishing moves. Basically, it's a really good game. I suggest you guys check it out on Game Pass.
and it's on Game Pass. I feel like I need to.
Right. And it's not a long game, so I know I get anxiety from all these adventure games that are 80 hours, and I'll play 5 or 6 of them, and I will never touch it again because I know how daunting that task is that's ahead of me. This game you can be done in a day or two.
I like that. I'm ready for some stuff like that.
And if you want to punish yourself, there's like 4 other difficulty levels higher than what I played it on. So, and it was a challenge.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
All right.
So play Doom. It's good. Look forward to the next Doom.
Guess I got to play the first one before the next one, right?
I don't think so. I don't think there's any sort of like literally the guy's name is Doom Guy, and there's not much story. It's all in basically like these little codex things that you find, and then it's in your library if you want to go find out what's going on.
So we're not there for the story, boys.
No, absolutely not.
All right. The one thing I want out of all my games. Maybe that's why I never went there. I'm not sure.
Just do it.
Okay. I will. I'll make time, I'm sure. I've got so much time for all these games.
Right?
Gotta stop playing Sea of Thieves. Yep. All right, speaking of giant daunting games that give you anxiety and I shouldn't be playing right now, I booted up Final Fantasy X on the Switch.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Although I looked up in how long to beat. If you're just cruising through the story, it looked like it's like 50 hours. But if you go hard on it, it's like 250.
80. Oh, jeez.
So I think it was like 190 or something like that.
Holy cow. That's crazy.
Yeah, apparently there's a lot of like after the game stuff you can do, like end game stuff before you fight the final boss, like optional bosses and ways to beef yourself up beforehand, I guess. So this is Final Fantasy X. I think this was the remastered version that came out on PS3, maybe, or PS4 at this point. I don't know. But a few things I can say: the running around is real bad. It has like it has the fixed cameras, and the amount of times I spend in like the open world areas trying to like just like things as simple as walk up that set of stairs. But if it's like off to the side or not like straight away in any direction, I have to go like diagonally into it. I have the hardest time in the world just trying to walk up a set of stairs, and I swear to God, it's not my fault. it's got to be the game's fault. So that's not great.
I used to hate that mechanic and then they'd have some sort of function where you'd have to walk across a ledge or a tightrope or something, and there was just no way.
Fall off.
Yeah, every time. So frustrating. Thank God for good games now.
The last thing, the most recent thing, and this sucks that I have to talk about negative parts of this game because I'm actually enjoying it. But the part I'm at right now, I had to like move this pedestal that slides across the ground. It was like a puzzle, and I got the stupid thing wedged in a corner, and there's no pull mechanic, so I can't pull the statue out of this corner. I can only push it just deeper into this corner, and now without going back and loading up a previous save, which I'm assuming I'm going to have to do, or if I miss something in the tutorial, good Lord, if anyone has played Final Fantasy X and knows how to reset any of the like puzzle stages or puzzle levels, so I don't have to start this whole section of the game over, please reach out to me any way you can and tell me how to remedy this, because right now thinking about having to go back and replay however much time, not into it. So
Doesn't sound good, does it?
no, not at all. But other than that, the other thing that always bugs me in these type of JRPGs is the like constant random encounters. I think the combat's well done, and like all your party members do different things, have different abilities. You can swap characters out mid-fight. Like if there's an aerial creature, you might need Waku, who's one of the characters, to throw a projectile at him because people on the ground can't hit him, obviously. But you don't like lose a turn or anything swapping people in and out. Like if you were playing a Pokemon game, for instance, and you brought somebody back in to put somebody back out, you're going to lose a turn, get attacked or whatever. But this is pretty seamless in how quick it happens. So that's nice. And all the characters so far that I've played feel very different. I think I've got 5 people in my party at this point. And the one character that's pretty awesome is called the Summoner. She summons this giant, like, monster eagle dragon thing, and it literally murders everything, but it has X amount of health and X amount of, like, magic power, blah, 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 blah. So you can't summon it all the time, but it's sweet. The game's sweet.
This is all turn-based?
It is turn-based, yeah.
Okay.
And then there's also a giant skill tree for every character, which I have barely touched, because that's another daunting thing. I need to just find the optimal upgrades to pick, right, because I don't want to.
You and your YouTube videos.
Exactly. As far as the story goes, this is one of the. I've played it through a few Final Fantasy games. 10 was never one of them. But this starts off. You're what's called a Blitzball character, or Blitzball player, I guess. It's a weird Final Fantasy sport, and you're going to the sweet game, and then this giant monster comes up and is like, nah, you're not playing that sweet game. And he like blows up your whole city. You get teleported to a different world, meet this chick, and she's like, hey, that actually happened 1,000 years ago. And you're like, wait, what? That literally just happened, but you got teleported. And you just meet a bunch of awesome characters along the way. The story's great, and I think that's what's going to keep me going through, pushing through these constant random encounters. It's just the worst. I hate having to feel like I need to be running into these constantly, because otherwise when you come into a boss battle, you're just going to be completely underleveled.
Don't know what to do also.
Yeah, that too.
That's how Octopath is, but I don't mind it.
Right. I guess I just wish that it was a little less. And I think that goes for all of these type of games. Although the people that are diehard into JRPGs probably love it to death. But
you know what would be a good mechanic for these games is like a learn function. Basically, like once you have fought the enemy, you have that in your knowledge. You know exactly how to beat him. So if you encounter that enemy again in a random encounter, you just hit the auto fight button and you automatically win.
I wish there was just an auto fight button in general, because a lot of these creatures I've been running into, I'm just mashing A for like basic attacks, because there's no skill involved with a lot of the random encounters. So it just comes down to me just literally hitting A as fast as I can, trying to get through them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is if they put a function in there where it was one of your character's things to, he just wrote everything down. He was a scribe or whatever, and then that was his ability, is to basically look back into the records and basically recreate the fight, so you didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, I love that, but it's not here, at least.
It's not there.
So yeah, I'm gonna keep trucking through this one. I think I'm 4 or 5 hours in now, and I've been playing a lot of that, and Iconoclast. Really, my only 2 games outside of Sea of Thieves right now. Well, yeah, I'm always playing Pirates.
Dude, I tried to because you guys completely blew me away in the dust last week. When I didn't have time to play, so everybody's like level 40s and everything now. So I tried to play some Sea of Thieves by myself and just do some gold hoarders. And literally, as I was getting to my island, this freaking galleon comes in and just smashes into the side of me. 3 guys board my ship and kill me, and I'm just like, oh, this is fun. And I just turned it off.
See, knowing that I have that type of power, I love it.
Yeah, I didn't even have anything. I literally just started.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this is how this is going to go. I'm good.
I've done that a couple times. You feel bad after. We played some this weekend because...
Yeah, we played Friday night.
Yeah, we ran into these randos who we made an alliance, did the skull for.
Oh, man.
And we were like, all right.
Wesley and Angry Kim.
Yep, Wesley and Angry Kim. Shout out to you guys. they joined an alliance with us. We were like, all right, all we want is to take the Merchant Alliance stuff, and we'll take all the Order of Souls stuff. You guys can take all the gold orders. And we
I
both
could have
went on
used
our
that
ways.
stuff, by the way.
Yeah, and so we go and turn in all of our stuff, blah, 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 perfect. And then we never get any type of notification that they ever turned in treasure, ever.
And last we saw of them, because you can see your alliances on the map, last we saw they were headed to the edge of the map. With
Yeah, they were
no
just headed out into
intention
the
of
Red Sea.
turning around. So they basically just donated our treasures.
And it was,
R.I.P.
we had this huge, like, debate between the four of us that were playing. It was like, do we
Yeah,
just
do we
kill
kill 'em?
them?
Do we kill them?
Like,
Do we
we'll
don't kill them?
Do this together, murder them, take everything, or do we actually be nice? And for some reason, I felt horrible thinking about going to like blow up their ship and make them lose out on this 45 minutes of gaming and not have anything. So we let them go. And now I've just learned time and time again, just trust no one. It wasn't even a trust thing. It was they were just
That's
bad.
just like a lesson in video games. If they ever give you an option to kill somebody, always do it, or they are going to come back to bite you. Like I was telling
100%.
Risky, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I spared this little girl because she was friends with, this little girl that looked up to me, and then she killed her whole village with a plague, so that was a bad choice.
Kill everyone, then no one can make mistakes.
Exactly.
Moose, I hope I'm always on your side whenever we play games, because I can't be having you stab me in the back.
I
I
might.
love it.
Just if you hear a Dan go, "Come here, Moose," you just run the other direction as fast as you can.
Yeah, at least he gives you a heads up. Like, hey, I'm going to kill you.
Oh, and they've added water balloons to Blackout, so that's been fun.
I didn't realize they did damage, and I was just whipping them at people the other day.
Yep, 25 apiece.
Good stuff. That game's something. All right. Lastly, Chocolate, you're still playing some Tomb Raider as well. Give us the update.
I am trucking away. I think I'm about halfway done in the percentage of the game, but it feels like it's coming near an end. So I feel I'm in the last third of the game.
That means it's about to get weird, because that's what happens in the last third of all those Tomb Raider games.
Yeah,
goes sideways.
It went sideways just before it, and I was like, oh, okay, what's all happened? And some people we lost, some people died. But yeah, the whole game it's just so good for a single player. For the single player game, it's exactly what I wanted. It's good. It really is good. I just want to beat it. I wanted to beat it before we went on the podcast today, but that failed.
A for effort, Chocolate.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to talk
Yeah.
about Division, Tomb Raider, or Katana Zero next week. So
Wow.
No, there's going to be all new games next week.
Yes.
Guess you better get on that
promise
Game
you
Pass,
that.
buddy.
The trouble is, it gets so daunting sometimes,
I
doesn't it?
know.
You look at Game Pass, you're just like, where do I start, finish? I don't know.
Just go to the
Exactly.
Just Added and watch the trailers. I guarantee you there'll be something on there that'll get you going.
No, definitely. There will be. I definitely want to try and get rid of Tomb Raider, though. I think I want to try
you
doing...
got 2 more Tomb Raiders to finish after that.
It does. It feels so good to delete something off your hard drive. Like
yeah,
I did
100%.
Red Dead recently, and I just did Doom yesterday. Just when you beat a game, you're just like, "Yep, there's no reason for me to go back to that." See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in when you were saying about those kind of open world 80 hours games. I just can't. Thinking about them now.
Right.
Back in the day, I could sit there and you could plow through Fallout 4. Well, sorry, Fallout 3, then Fallout 4. But now I'm just like, I can't sit there and do
Yeah.
that.
Can't have
that
a
long.
good
I think,
7-hour garbage monster session.
Well, exactly, and I think those kind of the sweet spot is potentially a kind of a 15-hour campaign,
Right.
which unfortunately would be spread over maybe a couple of months, just because you're playing other things as well.
Have you played Titanfall 2's campaign yet?
Oh yeah, that's done and dusted.
Okay.
But you keep Titanfall on there because
Right.
it's such a good multiplayer.
Yeah. Well, I'd play the campaign again. Because it's basically,
you?
It's just a bunch of boss fights, essentially, right?
Well, yeah,
Best first-person shooter campaign ever.
I think so.
Hands down.
it's
Other than
so
it being
good.
too short, but, What are you gonna do?
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if they were working on Titanfall 3
With like a 30-hour campaign.
Yeah. All right. The last thing I want to talk about quick, I'd mentioned in Discord that I picked up these Satisfy grips. This is gonna sound like an ad for Satisfy.
But they won't sponsor us.
We never reached out, to be fair. Maybe we should, because they actually do. What comes with this case is some thumb grips, like our old sponsor. But so this case, your Switch just slides into the top of it, and then it gives you what feels like to me adult size Joy-Cons. The buttons are still small, obviously, but when you raise the analog sticks a little bit and you have these grips that kind of come out the side, it's just the right side one comes out a little bit farther to the right, kind of like if you were holding an Xbox controller, I want to say. So it's kind of like at a diagonal, and then the one on the left is a little more straightforward because you're usually only using the analog stick on the left, so the ergonomics aren't really weird there. Until you hold the thing, it's going to be tough to understand what I'm trying to say, but I do like this case. The first couple days, I kind of got like weird wrist cramps, which wasn't a great sign, but it's because you're so used to holding that Switch in a certain way, especially if you don't use a case. I can't imagine going back to it at this point. But if you're looking for a sweet set of grips for your case, look up Satisfy. The thing I got was like a case for it. Came with a case, came with grips, came with a bunch of stuff. Check that out though. It was like $40 if you just want the grips, like the grip case thing. $20.
So is it just like it's like a silicone mold that you just slide your Switch into, or
it's not silicone. It's definitely harder, more solid plastic.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, your Switch just goes right into the top of it. So it's a.
Did you manage to put it in your dock as well? Well,
yeah, no,
in its case.
It won't fit in the dock. I don't play docked ever, so it wasn't a big deal to me. But if that's important to you and you are constantly doing it, I would not suggest this case because taking it in and out of there doesn't seem like it's great for the Switch.
So do you just charge with a cord then? USB-C cord?
Yeah, my phone
right.
charger is the same charger for that, the USB-C. So
do you use the rapid charge block on it?
Yeah, I've used everything, whatever I have. I've never had an issue with charging it too fast, and it does charge pretty fast with the rapid charger.
I need to try that.
I mean, I could be slowly killing my battery or something. That thing could blow up 2 weeks from now. I have no idea.
Yeah, but there's a new Switch coming soon, so you'll have to upgrade anyways.
Yeah, we'll see if those reports are true.
Well, they're selling accessories for them, so we'll see.
All right, that was it, though. Go check that case out. I did want to make a quick note for Game Pass Roulette. That episode is going to be next week. The game we're playing is Outer Wilds. We have a channel in Discord specifically for Game Pass Roulette, so if you have any comments, any questions for us, anything like that, you can post them there or reach out wherever. We've had a long time for this one, so it'll be exciting to pick a new game next week.
And if you haven't downloaded this one yet, it's space exploration, maybe a little break from your shooter. There's no guns, and basically you are trying to find out a mystery of people that have disappeared. And you go from planet to planet, uncovering things and solving puzzles, and it's pretty fun if you're into space exploration.
Yeah, for sure. So, go check that out. But, anyways, let's get into some news. All right, not a ton in the news this week, but Chocolate, what is there?
So we have Cyberpunk demo from E3 releasing at PAX West.
Yeah, so this was it's about 15 minutes of gameplay that a bunch of influencers and outlets and those type of things got to play at E3 this year. It's going live to the public during PAX West. PAX West is going on August 30th to September 2nd. So we should be finally seeing that chunk of gameplay that everybody got to play. I figured I'd just let everyone know. Not a big news story, but getting more Cyberpunk 2077 infected. Nope, that's not a word. Injected into our veins. Sounds pretty good.
I hear it's heavy Keanu, so look forward to that.
What else do you want at this point?
Right.
You don't announce Keanu and then not just shove Keanu down your throat. So
I just hope it's basically Point Break 2077.
I don't. Do you though?
Yeah, it's great. Have you seen
All right,
the new
fine.
Point Break? It's riveting.
No, I haven't. I feel like it got like a 23 on Metacritic.
I watched it on a plane. Anything on a plane is good.
Okay, that's fair. Anything that makes the time go by faster.
Right.
But yeah, that was it for that one.
Okay. Next up, we've got Pokemon. Can't catch 'em all?
Yeah, so in the upcoming Sword and Shield games, you're only going to be able to catch the Pokemon or import the Pokemon that are in the Galar region Pokédex. So in previous games, you could use the Pokemon Bank is what it was called. You could move Pokemon from previous games up into your Pokédex, even if they weren't from the new region. So it was a way to literally bring every single Pokemon that had ever been into all of the newer games. They're not doing that anymore this time around. It's going to be a set amount of the old Pokemon. They didn't talk about which ones or how many or anything like that. But that's a big change for people that have been playing this since it was originally on the OG Game Boy with red, blue, and yellow. So
Do you think this is a matter of make more money or a matter of too much data?
I feel like it has to be a too much data thing
Right,
because
I think so too.
this seems like the biggest, most ambitious Pokemon game by far. Like
And
just the
they're
dynamic
creating-
camera and the like big open area and stuff. It's
And how many new Pokemon are they creating? Did they
I'm actually
say?
not sure. I would assume it's got to be at least
It's
100.
100, right? So and then they've got to up-res all those images from the old ones as well. It just seems like a lot of work. Basically, you're building 2 games in one.
Right. I think they said after this newest batch, they were going to be over 1,000 in total.
Oh, jeez.
So-
yeah,
That's a lot.
right. That's a lot
And-
to keep in one game and keep track of.
And I don't think it's a money thing just because it's Nintendo. That just doesn't seem to be how they roll at all.
Right.
Do you think it's actually opening up? Not opening up. That's the wrong word. Kind of drawing a line on the
Right.
older stuff,
It's like Gen
and
2
now
Pokemon.
going. Yeah, kind of. The reboot. Say goodbye to your old friends. Here are the new guys we want you to fall in love with, and here's the next 15 years worth of Pokemon stuff.
I personally hope not, because I think a lot of people have the fondest memories of the first 150 or Gen 2 after that. So I think having like the greatest hits out of those, which seems to be what they're doing, is a good way to go about it. But I'd be bummed if I never got to see some of like the OG Pokemon like ever again in their games.
Like Charmander.
Exactly. Like imagine if you never got to see Charmander again. Everyone would be upset. What if there's no Pikachu? And like that's not a thing, right?
I'd
Can't
be
not
alright
have
with it.
Pikachu. What'd you say?
I feel
I
like
said I'd be all right with it.
Yeah, of course you would.
I suppose I'll leave what comment I was going to say. I think Moose has done it for
Yeah.
me.
We don't have the affinity or attachment to these characters that you do, I think.
Exactly.
Because you guys are so old.
Sorry.
Bunch
At
of
least
old
we
boys.
still play games.
Just because I'm closer to.
Dead?
Oh God, I can't even think of what's his name from Harry Potter. Well, yeah.
Dumbledore.
Let's
Just
just
because
move
you're
on.
closer to being dead than I am.
Yeah, not even Gandalf. is it?
Dumbledore.
Right, let's just go. Dumbledore.
Listen,
thank
old
you.
man.
Hang on, let me turn my hearing
you
aid
go.
to the T position.
Bell tone.
Right. Next up. Oh, Gears of War movie won't be canon.
Yeah, so I thought this was kind of surprising, but Rod Ferguson, who is the head at the Coalition, the ones that make the Gears games, sat down for an interview with IGN, and he said, in order for the movie to be successful, it has to be a great movie first and a Gears movie second. He said basically the way that we sort of reconcile that was we said, the movie should be an alternate reality. It should not be dependent on the game story, nor should it influence the game story. What do you guys think about that? That's kind of interesting that this is just going to be completely separate from Dom and Marcus.
So yeah,
and all
different
that.
characters, different storyline. Why not name it something different?
Because it's still in the Gears universe, I guess. So
Not really though. He says it's an alternate universe. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but I'm assuming you have the same type of enemies. You have the same
alien invasion type deal.
But then they could have gone to Marcus Phoenix the early years. A prequel.
Yeah, what's wrong with the current characters that they've got to go a completely different direction?
I think they just understand that it's so difficult for most studios to make good video game movies that they're kind of just like, all right, you have some material to pull from, but make it your own thing. Don't feel like you have to include Marcus or Dom or JD, whatever his son's name is. Like, don't feel obligated to put any of these people in here or talk about them at all. Just do what you got to do to make a good movie. And honestly, that's probably the most important thing if you've seen any video game movie in the past 20 years. So,
oh yeah, I mean, there's only a handful that are
that's
good.
the thing. When you can count the amount of good video game movies on one hand, they're probably not doing something right. So I think it's a good direction. It kind of, people that maybe were excited to have some type of branching, a narrative with Marcus, Dom, whoever, they might be disappointed, but I don't know. I think it's a good call.
Well,
I'll probably
we'll
watch
wait
it
till the film comes out.
Is it Netflix, right?
Yeah, I think that's the one that was being. Yep. Now I don't know, so I'm not going to say yes or no, but that sounds right.
Straight to DVD. Right. Next up, Dr. Mario World released date. Should we start that again?
Yeah, go for it.
Excellent. Dr. Mario World release date announced for July 10th. I'm not even going to read the second part, so you go for it.
If you look at our show notes, is that not actually, that should have went into PSA's chocolate? That's my bad. That was literally just a game announcement.
You son of a...
Does that help?
That does
I should have
do.
put a space in there. My bad, chocolate. This is how the sausage is made, people.
So this is another Nintendo mobile game, correct?
Yes, it's their next one.
I used to love Dr. Mario on the Super Nintendo.
Dude, it's in the Switch
I know.
Online stuff right now.
Yeah, I know. I've been playing it a little bit. It's with that other game that's weird.
With that other game that's weird?
Yeah, it's like Dr. Mario and something else with it. I can't remember what it is, but it's a strange game. They're a combo.
I never liked Dr. Mario.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't.
Were you
I was
just
never
really
a fan.
bad at
It
it?
was, well, there was that, but it just reminded me of the other Mario game where you had Yoshi and you had to spin the plates around to.
Yeah, the egg game.
Like
That's the other one that's with it. Is that Yoshi egg
Yeah.
game where you have to...
Yeah, Yoshi something. I can't think what it was called.
Yoshi's
but yeah.
Egg Game.
Yeah, exactly.
That one. That classic.
We love that one. Right. Should we go back to the, the last news
Yeah,
story?
sounds good.
There are not 2 Xboxes in development currently.
Yeah, so this is kind of it was a shock to me, at least. I'm assuming it was a shock to most people because it wasn't this E3, but last E3 there was talk that Xbox had 2 Xboxes in development. One was going to be like their pro version, and then one was going to be the more consumer-friendly version of that. And they were rumored to be codenamed Lockhart and Anaconda. And if you remember, this is months back at this point, but they actually had like spec sheets leaked for these 2 consoles. And then it turns out this was from a Business Insider interview that they did with Phil Spencer. They called them out on it. It was like, hey, it sounds like you guys are just working on Project Scarlet now. What happened to that second console? And Phil said, last year we said consoles, and we've shipped a console, and we've now detailed another console. I think that's plural. You get them, Phil. So what he's referring to was that the Xbox One S All Digital has come out since they made that statement. The what?
The sad box. All digital. Xbox One S, all digital. Xbox One sad.
Yep. All right. I had not heard that until you just said that. That's pretty good. I like it. Yeah. So it turns out this one console that they're working on, Scarlet, which they talked about at the very end of this E3's press conference, that's the only one they're working on. So, I don't...
That's good.
Do you guys believe that?
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. All hands on deck on one thing. Get it out, get it done.
I've got a feeling you'll get... So how does the cycle normally go? So the console will come out, 2 years later it gets a nice little dust down and a look at our brand new console, and they bring out the next one. So I think you'll see another all digital in
22.
year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Right.
Okay.
It'll just
When
be
they-
the beefed up version, basically.
Yeah, possibly. And then you'll see, because they was talking about they want to, way back when, they wanted to cycle it like phones. So then I would imagine if you cycle back a few, like the very first OG Xbox, that will be, air quotes, dead and buried, because it won't be able to
Right.
handle the upgrade specs.
You have to have at
So
least
you guys
an S,
don't
I
think they're
believe,
working?
for the next gen.
You don't think they're
Oh.
working on that already, though?
Well,
it's
yeah, I'm
coming
sure
out
they
in a year and a
are.
half?
But no.
I think it's already
I
done.
think the next fall they'll release their big box, and then, like Chocolate said, they'll drop something else in a year and a half to
So
2
a
years.
year and a half
from
after that. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I misunderstood.
But it's already done. I would say it's already done, because they've
Oh,
already
yeah.
worked out how
Because they got to do all the marketing
how to
and all
do-
that stuff for it now. So, and they've got a year's
Exactly,
time
so then-
basically.
So they've got a year's break, a year's worth of recouping money from the launch of Scarlet, and then they'll start again. So like I said, I think they're already done and dusted, and they know how to get the inner workings working
But
correctly.
I think
My God,
I
said
think
that.
this next gen is going to be kind of the last gen, because it's all basically they're all PCs at this point, and everything's going to cloud-based gaming. So what's the point of, other than Xbox using your own Xbox as your own server? What's the point of buying this giant? I know it's a super affordable, basically gaming PC, but what is the point of buying the hardware if you don't need it?
Because you still need an internet connection. I mean, a few of us are lucky enough to have an internet connection that can run this stuff
Right.
at the
Not
same...
including myself.
Right, at the same latency and just quality that you're getting out of a console. Like, some people are just always going to want that, and I think I'm one of those people. I'm as awesome as this whole streaming thing sounds and being able to do it anywhere and everywhere. Like, I'm still going to want either my PC or a console.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I'm happy with every 5 years a new console, or the next upgrade. I say the next upgrade, the next leap in technology.
Right.
I'm good
I
with
can't
that.
talk my wife into an upgrade of $500 any sooner than that. She say you just got one.
Not with that attitude, you can't, Moose.
I can be very persuasive when I need to be.
So, yeah, that's some interesting news. And the one thing, I didn't put this in the news docket, but we can just talk about it quick. Moose briefly touched on it earlier, but a case maker for Nintendo Switch put out he sent a, I don't, what would you call it? He sent it to a reviewer to review their cases for the new Nintendo Switch Mini, and the images there had what looked like the new Nintendo Switch Mini next to the cases. So that was kind of like potentially our first look at this thing. It reminds me, it just kind of looks like a more rounded Switch with no detachable Joy-Cons.
Right. They're attached and they're stuck, and it could be perfect for your kids if they can't share. If you've got to buy them their own,
Especially if it's like $150 versus
Right.
$300.
and if you can share your whole library, which I don't know if you can or not. I don't think you can. You just share the online memberships, correct?
As far as I know.
No, I think you can, can't you? Can't you add the profiles?
Oh yeah, you can load your profile onto other people's Switches, correct?
Yeah, so then they have the ability to play your
Oh,
that
but you couldn't be
game.
playing it, like the four of you couldn't all be on your own.
Yeah, you have to have one
kind of
license
play
per
the
same
Switch,
game?
I believe,
Yeah, that I don't know.
or one license per user.
Be fine for single. Possibly, it'd be fine for single player games. It obviously just goes a bit skew if when you want to play a
Right.
multiplayer game.
True. Either way, so that may have been our first look at that. Just Google it if you're looking for an image. Yeah. That's gonna do it for the news this week. Nice and short. I enjoyed that. New games for the week though. What's coming out this week, Moose?
We're in the dog days of summer, so not a whole lot. We got Samurai Showdown on June 25th. It looks to be a remaster or remake of the arcade classic that I used to play at Skate City when I was in 5th grade. So.
Yes.
It's I'm not a fighting game person, but it looks good. Everything's been high resed up and polished and shined, and it's Samurai Showdown. We got The Sinking City on June 27th. This was, I believe, in part of the Kind of Funny game showcase during E3. I think I made a note of this game looking interesting, so I believe it's $20. I may wait for it to go on sale, but it looks pretty cool.
It's like Lovecraftian, so there's like Cthulhu and all that stuff, and it looks like you're a detective trying to figure out the mysteries of that. I think it actually looks pretty sweet. So especially if it's that cheap, count me in.
And then I know a lot of people have been anticipating this game. I'm not one of them, but I don't understand this game. But maybe I'll get it at some point. Super Mario Maker 2 is out June 28th. So I never played the first version. Did either of you?
Nope.
No, I don't get it either, Moose. I don't understand.
I'm not big on level creation. And
I want to play the games. I don't want to create the games.
Yeah, I don't want to make your game for you. Quit being lazy. I don't want to cook my own steak. Let's do this.
I will say, though, that if you probably just got it and had no intention of actually creating levels, just going through the community created levels is probably pretty awesome, especially if they're filtered with, like, most popular, or you can rate them. Like, so you'll have, like, the top 10 highest praised community-made levels, I guess. That could be kind of cool.
Yeah, kind of like Trials, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense to me, but not for $60.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, nope.
But if you have another game, a Nintendo game that you're looking for, you can pick them both up for 2 tokens, which are $100.
I still need to look into that because it still confused me.
It's a pretty cool deal. So basically, you get 2 games for $100, and you go in on the eShop and you buy your tokens, and then they're applicable to so many different games that are $60 titles.
So they have a set list then?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
And it's mainly the Nintendo exclusives.
So like with Marvel Ultimate Alliance and the new Fire Emblem game both coming out next year or next month.
I don't
probably
think
not gonna
so,
be on there, then.
but I would check
Marvel's
the list.
on it.
There you go.
Ooh, Marvel is?
But
yeah, I think Marvel's on it.
Risky, I got Marvel on Amazon for $50 coming to my house day of drop date.
True.
So there's also that avenue.
All right. I'll have to look into it.
But I don't understand those. So I was going to pick it up so I could have got Mario Kart.
Yep.
But then Mario Kart was on sale.
Then that wouldn't have
And I was
helped you
like,
out.
oh, okay. Then I'll leave it. Tight.
All right, well, hey, that's going to wrap it up for the first half of the show. Maybe not half. We'll say first 2/3. We'll be nice to you this week. But like I said earlier in the show, this is a mailbag episode. So let's dive into the mailbag.
You've got mail.
All right, what do we have in the mailbag this week? Let's start with a question coming in from Viva Le Sweeney. What is the most underrated game you have ever played? Chocolate, we'll start with you.
This is going to be a slightly obscure one. Speedrunners.
That game's pretty fun.
That game was fun.
Yes.
Isn't that the one where the rectangle closes in closer and closer, and you guys all have to run like through a loop, basically?
Yeah. So you're running in a circle as such, and
using a grappling hook
as the screen closes in. Yeah, I think there's grappling hook jumps and everything. It was good fun. I was pleasantly surprised. It was from Double Dutch Games, the developers, and I played it and I really, really enjoyed it. And I hadn't heard of it until someone mentioned that I had to
Wasn't
play
it
them on it. And
Games with Gold at one point?
Yeah, it was like a year and a half or 2
I
years
feel like
ago.
it
I
was.
think. Like the release of it was
Maybe.
Games with Gold.
And that was, I think that's a perfect answer to this because I had never heard of it until it was like, oh, this is Games with Gold. And then I downloaded it. I was like, oh, man, this is actually pretty awesome.
Right, especially if you get it's got
really
good
good.
couch co-op too because everything is on that screen and it gets smaller for everybody at the same time. So
Yeah, everybody can see everything that's going on.
exactly.
I was going to mention the co-op part. If you could do that couch co-op, it's perfect. Perfect game.
Agreed. All right, Moose, what do you got?
Well, everybody's gonna know I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna say 2 anyways. Titanfall 2. Everybody,
Is
just
that really
bad-
underrated at this point?
Yeah, because it got crapped on because
It was sandwiched between
came out
COD
between-
and Battlefield,
Yeah, Battlefield.
or something.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare 2 and Battlefield 4, and then dropped Titanfall right between the two. And it was probably the best game out of the 3. It just got no shine. So it's super underrated in my opinion. But
Battlefield 4 is pretty good.
and then have you played it recently? It's not.
Yeah, recently. Sure. Thousand
So,
played the original Titanfall recently.
I also got to say Strange Brigade is pretty underrated. It came out under the radar last year, and it's a lot of fun. The narrator is hilarious. It's kind of a vaudeville type of narration, and don't take yourself too
Love that
seriously.
game.
It's a lot of fun,
And that's in Game Pass as well. So if
Yep.
anyone wants to check it out, it's there.
and it's so much fun with friends. I suggest you play with friends.
Yep. For me, the one I had written down, I wrote down 2. The first one, I don't know if it was underrated, but I remember loving it, never hearing anyone talk about it. But that was Mirror's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are familiar, it was like a first-person parkour game with a.
Right.
Yeah, that made me sick.
Did it? Okay. Well, hey, maybe that's why
Yeah,
not a lot of
I
people
got the
played
motion.
it. Yeah, it was just a first-person parkour game that it looked beautiful for the time, and the actual gameplay was just whatever you thought was going to happen in your head. It's like exactly what happened on screen. It was so like fluent. And now you see games like Dying Light came out after that, and I don't think it touched Mirror's Edge as far as like the parkour went. I could just be looking at it with rose-tinted glasses, but I don't know. That was a good one. But my main one, though, was Command & Conquer Renegade, which no one talks about because when they think of Command & Conquer, you just think of like the RTS.
Yeah.
Right. But they had a really, really good first-person shooter game way back when, and all these remasters happen, and you get all these collections, and then it's like Renegade is just never in there. And man, that might have been my favorite Command & Conquer game, and it was nothing like the other Command & Conquer games. But
Yeah, I can't say I've ever heard of it.
yeah, it's a
Was
good
it
one.
PC?
I played it on PC back in the day, yeah.
Okay.
I would assume that's probably the only place you can play it. I bet you
Right.
can't even play it now
Not
because
anymore.
it was multiplayer. At least I only remember playing it multiplayer, but it was a good one. All right, next one comes in from Blade. What game franchise do you wish would just stop already? Moose, we'll start with you this time.
Okay, I interpreted this question a little bit differently as overrated games franchise. So
That's fine. I think that works.
remember before I answer this to direct all your hate mail to Chocolateberry80.
Yeah, I'm waiting
But
for
I'm
it.
going to go ahead and say Grand Theft Auto. I can't.
Yeah,
I've
you're
tried.
super
I can't,
wrong.
I know. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm trying. I'm trying to play it right now. Still trying to play GTA 5. And it just, I don't know. The story's funny. but the
Hashtag
gameplay
user.
the gameplay is not great.
It's a game from 2012 or 13. What do you?
But no, just like the mechanics of I don't know.
You don't like the auto locking flick up a little bit?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the tapping A to run faster. I don't know.
Okay, they could definitely improve some things. As soon as you said
Right.
tapping with A, I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of dumb. That's a
I
thing.
about had a hand cramp last night after a foot race with a lady in a tube top. So
And that's because you would think that would be something they changed, but Red Dead Redemption 2 just came out last year, and that still had the tap A to sprint.
dude, and you know the
Why?
worst part about it is I've been playing with my paddles and I didn't even think to use it until I lost the race the first time. I was like, "Oh, you such an idiot!" Just because I have A and X on my paddles now and I'm getting used to it. So
You could have been paddling with A and your thumb on A. You could have
Yeah.
been double paddling.
Oh yeah,
Woo.
I could have been. I'd have been there 5 minutes ahead of her.
All right, I don't agree with it, but it's still.
I know. I'm
It's an
sorry.
answer.
I apologize. I'll keep
Chocolate.
trying. I'm gonna finish the game. So
Good. Give me a better answer.
Just for the pure frustration I've had this year, mine's FIFA.
wow.
Okay.
You've had
So-
enough FIFA.
I like it.
Yeah, I've had enough of FIFA and its Ultimate Team mode. I'm done with it. So when the new one comes out, I will potentially only be playing the Pro Clubs mode, or I will give it a miss
Wow.
and not touch FIFA. And do you know, I'm so glad I haven't played too much FIFA this year, because it's just opened up to me playing other
Division.
games, which, yeah, hitting Division harder, Void Bastards, just loads of games. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm cleansed.
So this kind of went along with my answer. I said annualized sports games. I think at this point, and I've mentioned this before, they could definitely just be like games of service games that kind of change yearly, but you don't need a full blown like FIFA 20. Like eventually you're gonna be
Right.
like FIFA 47. Like that sounds ridiculous.
They could easily make those
Yeah,
a games
come on.
as a service.
Exactly, and
With
that
a
needs to happen.
$35 a year sub fee, and kind of like Destiny's
But
doing.
EA like money, and
They make
I
plenty
can
of
never
money.
see them. Yeah, I can't see them.
But they're
doing
still
that.
making money from their biggest source of revenue is their like loot boxes, their card packs or whatever. That's not something that needs to disappear. If anything, you could have more of them because the game's just never stopping and constantly going. Like, oh, these
Well,
are this
true.
month's new packs with these updated stats and blah blah.
Yeah, but they don't call them loot boxes anymore, do they?
No, we'll touch on that in a minute. And then I don't know why I have so many double answers here, but Football Manager obviously needs to stop. Hands down.
So we can stop talking about it.
Just so I don't need to have another guest host on this show telling about how they've been
How
playing
great it is.
Football Manager, the game where you don't play a game.
Where's
at
the
all.
paint dry sim?
I've just
I want
realised
to
what I'm
play
gonna
that
play.
game. Just watch paint dry.
You realize you're gonna what is the game gonna be? You're gonna drop FIFA and just become a pro football manager.
Yeah, that's my game I'm going to play
I hate you
next
so
week.
much.
Can we have a no football manager rule?
Yes, please. Or make it about real football. Moving on. This one comes in from 10,000 Fists. He says, what has been your favorite E3 reveal of all time? I'll start with this one. When Wildlands, which sounds weird because I feel like there's probably so many bigger announcements, but when Wildlands was first announced at E3, it was this weird culmination of two of my favorite genres. It was going to be something like Far Cry with your giant open world, your base camps that you had to attack, and it was mixed with modern combat. Putting those two things together seemed like the most incredible game I could have ever imagined, and I just lost it. That's what I remember, is just going nuts seeing that this was going to be a real thing. We're going to be able to have this giant open world with modern vehicles, modern weapons, modern enemies, no weird aliens or monsters or laser beams, double jumping, that kind of stuff. I was pumped when that game was originally announced, because I think it's the first of its kind, really, as far as the
Open world.
the setting. Yeah.
Right.
Not the genre, obviously, because people have been doing that forever. But it was the first, like, squad up with 3 people, customize your loadouts of authentic weapons, like realistic weapons, that kind of stuff. Go out and
You can really do whatever you want, kind of sandbox.
yeah, do it however you wanted. It made so much sense, and I mean, I loved that game. Yeah, so that was a huge one for me. Chocolate, how about you?
This is going to sound so bad. So my
Yay!
favourite reveal from E3 was when Sony took a hot, massive poop on Xbox in
Jesus, dude.
2013 and went, and this is how you share games.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was, the way they did it was brilliant and beautiful, and that is my biggest memory. at the moment. Not any games, just that kind of knife stuck.
Just
Beautiful.
throwing shade is your favorite moment from E3.
Yeah, sorry. It probably says a lot
All right,
about
thanks
me.
a lot,
It was
Ryan.
good though. I don't think you're wrong because Microsoft had spent 2 hours talking about TV and live or like how your Xbox always had to be online and sports and TV and sports and TV
Yeah, and this all
some
in
weird
one
game sharing. Like
this one beautiful console in your front room. It was almost as if I know there was like kind of talk beforehand. They were saying they wondered whether both of them went in and went, "Oh yeah, this is what we're both going to do. Fantastic. Oh, you're going on first. No worries." And then Sony kind of just walk off, snigger in the corner, and like, "Haha, we've got them, lads. Let's film our little bit."
it's so funny, like how reactionary it was. It was like, "Oh, did you just see what happened? Let's make a 20-second clip that people will remember for the rest of E3 history."
Beautiful.
So good.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's what I liked from E3.
All right, that's bad, but it's good. Chalk or Moose, how about you?
I gotta say, it was 2016 or 2017 when they revealed the One X. I had just gotten a 1S for my birthday or Christmas the previous year, and I literally bought a new Xbox within 9 months because of the presentation and just all the the games and the quality and all that stuff. So had to go out and get a new Xbox and a 4K TV ASAP.
Yeah, I think that was definitely my first 4K purchase. Was I need to have this for my new Xbox One X, so then I went out and got a TCL, and that was that.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I've done a lot of research on TVs, and either you go with the TCL or you go with the OLED. So those are the two best TVs out there, and they just happen to be on opposite ends of the price spectrum.
Right, it's like you buy this thing that's affordable or this thing that no one can afford. Perfect. One little bonus one here. I was super pumped when Anthem was originally announced. Those first trailers for Anthem made it look like it was the be-all, end-all, like it was going to be the Destiny killer. And it's so
Right.
sad to look back and think about just the life of Anthem, how there was...
Hey, it's still there-ish. They said they're going to support it for
Is
the
it,
next 7
though?
to 10 years. I hope so. It's a great game. It's just nothing to do.
It's a great foundation for a game,
Right.
for sure.
Kind of how Sea of Thieves was, and now you're addicted to it.
Well,
so
that's
there's
true.
hope.
Anthem 2.0 a year from now, I'm going to love it. We shall see. This next one comes in from Sir Moxalot. If you could change one feature in your favorite game, what would it be? Moose, you're first this time.
I can't say what my favorite game is today, but I know that this is involved in pretty much all my favorite games is inventory management. If you can get rid of that and just let me carry everything like I'm Atlas, like the world on my shoulders, I would be perfect.
Nothing worse than having a prompt show up on your screen that says you are over encumbered.
Or
The Fallout
you have
games,
to
dude,
walk at like
ruins them.
1/4 speed because you're carrying too much crap,
Yep.
i.e. Skyrim.
I used to hate that in Fallout. It used to drive me mad.
That's why when they announced mods for Xbox, I was like, this is the best day ever. I can turn off
Unlimited
over
inventory.
encumbrance.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Chocolate, how about you?
So, because I like playing my shooters, it's the ping system. Bring that ping system to all my first person shooters and the Division as well. I think that that thing is unreal.
That Apex ping system?
Oh.
Is that what, specifically?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So you can
Beautiful.
mark targets and
mark
Yeah.
targets, or I suppose it doesn't work in the Division, but there's a loot box there, or
right.
things like that. I think it makes the game so much easier, especially when you're playing with random people.
Right. Well, it just helps you communicate with anybody. You can't just say, "Hey, over on the left side of your screen," you can say, "Right here where I put this yellow marker."
Precisely. It's brilliant. That is my one thing at the moment. I think every game needs that ping system.
And that's
Good one,
literally one of
Bear.
the best new gaming,
Yep.
like,
Oh,
whatever, that in the last few years. It's like, it makes so much sense.
yeah, definitely.
Especially when it's
What
done
about
well.
you, Risky? What do you think?
I touched on this briefly with Final Fantasy X, but the constant random encounters in any type of like awesome JRPG, because there's a lot of really good ones, and a lot of times my experience is just ruined by constantly having to run into them. I think the Final Fantasy IX remaster came with the ability to shut off random encounters, and I just wish every game would make it optional. Like, yes, you're going to pay the penalty if you're not at the right level, but if I need to get somewhere quick or just don't feel like dealing with those battles that are popping up every 30 seconds, give me a way to turn it off. Just let me click it off quick. But that's a big one for me.
So how would you farm XP and stuff like that if you didn't have your random encounters?
Give me more XP for the less frequent ones.
Gotcha.
I guess it's a quantity thing. It's not like
Right.
it's just there's too many. I don't mind them. I just would like it if it was every couple minutes even versus every like 20 seconds.
Yeah, or to be able to just run away from them, like kind of like just off the top of my head, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, how the boars and the bears and all that stuff attack you, but you could just keep moving and they go away.
Right. All right. What Dead franchise would you like to see a reboot? And if there's a current franchise that has gone astray, wait, hold on. I read that poorly. Is there a current franchise that has gone astray that you think there should be a reboot? That one came in from Fufu Cuddly Poof. I can do this one. What needs a redo? Alan Wake, I think. Or I guess that's more just needs a sequel. I might have done that wrong. And then Call of Duty, but it's getting one. So perfect.
There you go. Answered your own question.
Yep. Chocolate, how about you?
For me, Prince of Persia. I'd love to
yeah.
see.
Good one.
Sands of Time was a really, really, really good game in the 360, I want to say. So, yeah, seeing another Prince of Persia done well would be for me.
Yeah, current gen Prince of Persia with some of those mechanics from those old games would be a lot of fun. That's a good call.
Would be good. And then what's my other one that's gone astray? Well, yeah, COD's gone astray, hasn't it? That's the hard one. But I'll choose Battlefield because the latest one's a pile of
that one's
dog
terrible.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't been a huge fan of the last two, so
I'm gonna go back to the Dreamcast days.
Crazy Taxi.
No, I think Madden needs some competition. So they need to bring back the NFL 2K series. It was such a better game.
Is that how long it's been since 2K was making football games?
Yeah, Dreamcast.
Oh my god.
That's when I played it last on.
Yeah,
And then,
competition only makes games like that better. So
Right.
yeah, that's a good one. I like it.
And then I think that a complete misstep is Star Wars Battlefront. Take it away from EA and just redo that game.
Make it more like the old ones that were.
Yeah.
So it got rebooted. It just got rebooted poorly.
Right. It was just a terrible reboot. So reboot the reboot, I suppose.
Yeah. Agreed. This next one comes in from Ledonian. It's a good one. If Chocolate Bear 80 was indeed made of chocolate, what type of chocolate would he be? Moose, what do you think?
I gotta say, I think it'd be something spicy. So some sort of like jalapeno chocolate, or because he always keeps you on your toes. Some say some sort of chili chocolate or jalapeno chocolate, something infused with spice.
Man, I should have went first since my answer is way lamer. Mine was just white chocolate. I thought that was funny.
Vanilla Bear.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the wrong name.
Awesome.
What do you think
We
you'd
could
be made
just
out of
change his
chocolate?
name to Spicy White Chocolate.
Spicy white chocolate.
I'm not paying
Alter
$10
ego.
for that. Milk chocolate. I'll post a picture in Discord because
No, it's
boy.
free right now. You get one free name change right now.
I do. I could.
Don't
Yeah,
you?
but then I don't want the
'Cause,
silly numbers.
I think you only have to have numbers if there's somebody else that already has it.
Yeah, I don't want to run the risk.
Oh, all right.
Maybe it tells you beforehand.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? This next one comes in from Chestar. What do you think of EA's submissions to Parliament about loot boxes, or surprise mechanics, as they're calling them? Just to catch people up quickly, Representatives from EA and Epic met with the UK Parliament's Digital Culture, Media and Sports Committee this week in an evidence session for its investigations into addictive and immersive technologies, aka loot boxes. And there's a few fun quotes in here from the EA representative that was there. They said that they are ethical and fun at one point. They said, if you go to a store that sells a lot of toys and you do a search for surprise toys, what you'll find is that this is something that people enjoy. They enjoy surprises. They also said, and so it's something that's been part of toys for years, whether it's Kinder Eggs or Hatchimals or LOL surprises. They're ethical and fun, guys.
I don't
Not
know about
addictive.
that, but definitely people pay money for them. I got a buddy that makes a career out of this. So he's got ways to go into the stores and figure out which one have the rare things inside the boxes and buys those. And he hits more than he misses.
Illegal.
How's it illegal?
He's got some type of weird algorithm to tell him how to find the most rare things from these toys.
He's bought enough of them to figure out which ones are different and why.
It's like counting cards in a casino. It's just frowned.
It's not illegal. Yeah, it's you found a way to,
exploit
manipulate the system.
I was going to say exploit their surprise mechanic.
I think we need to have this friend on the podcast at some point. I'd really like to dig into this one.
Oh no, he ain't telling you his secrets. I've told you more than I need to already.
That's true. Don't give me his name. I'll find him. I don't know if there's a ton to really say here. I just think it's funny how serious this whole matter is, I think, and how EA is just kind of joking about it. Like, yeah, these loot boxes are kind of
people
just like
enjoy
Kinder
these
eggs.
things. They're fun.
Like $100 in loot boxes trying to get a digital skin for my digital video game character. Maybe that's not the same thing as a Kinder Egg. What is a Kinder Egg? Is that an English thing?
It's the so like
you
half
guys
of
look
it
at it.
half of it is like some sort of candy or treat, and then the other half has like a Cracker Jack type toy in it.
Oh, okay. I know Cracker Jacks at least. So
basically it's an egg that you peel in half, and one side's got like some sort of it's like custard or pudding or something. It's gross.
No, just milk. It's just milk chocolate. They do have other versions.
Yeah, they won't sell the ones that have the eggs inside the chocolate here in the U.S. because they think kids are stupid. Literally, that's why they don't do it. There's a ban on the prize toys inside chocolate because they think kids will eat it thinking it's candy.
Well, there was that, and to open them, you had to stick them in your mouth and pop the top off, and someone choked. Anyway.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
I would say we have people eating Tide Pods over here nowadays. So
Yeah.
I guess really nothing should surprise me at this point. Yeah, as a
challenge.
As a hobby, fun.
It's ridiculous. That's what I think of EA's submissions to Parliament.
Yeah.
Fair enough. This last one comes in from Ledonian. We'll end on a nice, easy one for everyone. Chinese or Thai food, and what's your favorite dish? Chocolate, we'll start with you.
Chinese, Singapore-style noodles, vermicelli. Done.
That didn't sound like Chinese food.
Oh, it is. Trust me.
But all right.
It sounds like Vietnamese food.
Will you say that one more time?
Singapore-style noodles, vermicelli.
Isn't it vermicelli?
I can't pronounce stuff, so it doesn't matter.
It's actually
Isn't that an Italian word? Or it sounds like it should be an Italian word.
Yeah, it is.
Shouldn't you know how that's pronounced?
It's like that long rice. It looks like noodles, kind of.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Okay, fine. Moose, how about you?
All that comes to mind is Thai basil shrimp, so I guess I gotta say Thai food.
Okay. I don't have a lot of experience with Thai food. I eat pad Thai when I go to any Thai place, just because that's peanutty and good. But it's definitely Chinese food for me. And I like orange chicken and lo mein. I hate picking out orange peels, but I love the final product.
I'd say Chinese food appetizers, for the win, though. You got dumplings, you got wontons, you got
crab
egg
rangoons.
rolls. Yeah, rangoons. You got beef and chicken on a stick. You got fantail shrimp. I could eat just...
Prawn toast.
The poo-poo platter. Just order that, and that'd be my meal.
That sounds gross. I'm not gonna do that.
You guys never
I
had
don't
that?
want poo-poo on a platter.
No, you and Megan got to go to a Chinese restaurant and have the poo-poo platter. It's like this Lazy Susan type thing with a flaming bowl on top of it, and you can reheat your stuff on the flame.
Sold. I'll be there.
Give it a shot.
It's what's for dinner. All right. Any of these stick out to you guys? Let's pick a winner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Let's see.
I liked Fist's question, but I also like Blades. So
I'm going to go with the positive of the two. Let's go with Fists.
Yeah, that's a good one, and it's relevant for
Right.
the last
We're
couple
just
weeks.
coming off E3, and there's still no news because everybody's still hungover.
Even if this just led to just the discussion of how the game sharing thing is Chocolate's favorite
Yeah.
memory
Still
from
turned a
E3
positive
ever.
into a negative, didn't we? Thanks a lot,
Fantastic.
Bear.
that's what I'm here for. Sprinkle those seeds.
All right, so Fist, reach out to me, and we'll get you whatever we're giving away nowadays for this.
Still a
You're
month
welcome.
of Game Pass or live.
All right, you're welcome. All right, hey, let's plug this thing up. First and foremost, head on over to iTunes. Give us a rating. The more ratings we get, the higher the stars go up, and the more exposure we get over there, the more easily people can find us, join the community, and
Unless you don't like the show, then just keep that to yourself.
yeah, we would. We don't want any 1s and 2 stars. No, just forget about it. Don't listen to anything I just said.
Exactly.
Just kidding. All feedback is feedback.
That's true.
I'm not wrong.
I was going to
Nope.
say, still 5-star it.
Yeah, even if you write in the comments that this is the worst garbage you've ever heard in your life, just throw 5 stars up there.
At this point, we sound like we're begging. So head on over to crossatlanticgaming.com to find links to literally everything else, everything we do, YouTube, social media, Discord. Discord's the most important thing. That's where we all are every day, talking games, talking sports, talking whatever's going on. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/CAG podcast and become a top tier Patreon supporter like our good friend Chaotic. Shout out to everybody that supports us every month and makes this whole thing possible. You guys rock. Yeah, am I missing anything? New merch shop, Spreadshirt. Like I said, I will put up links for that in the description. Other than that, though, I think we did it. Made it through another episode. Good work, everybody.
Download Outer Wilds, get involved in the community chat.
Yeah, for sure. Do that. All right. If you want to find me, I am at Risky the Kid everywhere. Chocolate, how about you?
Chocolate Bear 80 everywhere, and bring your hate mail to me.
And Moose.
Moosenstein 8314, bring your hate mail to Chocolate Bear.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
Peace.
Later.
And now the part of the show that you've all been waiting for. Chocolate's terrible dad jokes.
Hey, that's a bit harsh.
Sorry.
But I'll start with this one. My girlfriend told me to stop playing Pokemon as it was childish. I started thrashing about and roaring, "You don't have enough badges to control me!"
Oh, that's bad.
That was terrible.
That
I think
was.
it's supposed to be, though, bad, right?
I don't know that bad. Hey, Chocolate, how does a penguin build its house?
I have no idea. How does a penguin
It
build
glues
its
it
house?
together.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, thanks for stepping on the punchline there. How many apples grow on a tree?
Yep, can't do that one.
All of
Go
them.
on. Oh, son of a...
Sorry, Risky ruined my good joke and I
Fine.
panicked.
Sorry, I really like to just impulsively shout
I
out
know,
the answers.
that's the
to
best
jokes.
part.
Well, like
good
last
surprise on you.
This one was actually from my Icono class. If you there's a section where you're climbing through the ceiling, sneaking around, and people are making dad jokes. Did you hear that joke about the paper?
No.
It was terrible.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you and good night.